time to get anything up and ready to go. Baby, when I tell you, Deonte Nash came to eat. Let me check on my sound because y'all be over here telling me my sound is not sounding. It's not giving, and we need to be giving what needs to be gave, okay? At the end of the day. So let's get ready to get up into this. Oh, it didn't even show my thumbnail. The disrespect. It's not giving, and we need to be giving what okay. Okay, so the sound is sounding. It's giving. It's definitely giving. Let me go ahead. Y'all get those likes up. 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 I cannot say it enough. Get those likes up. Honey, baby, I know that you guys have already probably heard about Deonte Nash. He came and he nom, 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 nom. He came to eat. He said, oh, this is a buffet. I didn't want to be here, but since I'm here, let me go ahead and eat this up. Baby, Deonte Nash is the one. I see what the prosecution is doing. Everybody was so caught up in, oh, Cassie is just testifying to this, and I don't see no RICO, and I don't see the slugs trafficking. I don't want to use other people's words. I'm gonna they don't see the slugs trafficking. They don't see none of that. Baby, between Capricorn Clark and Mr. Nash over here, it's eating and it's giving, okay? Also, I got some information for y'all that I'm going to give out to y'all. I got a lot of stuff that I got to put together behind the scenes that I'm going to put behind the scenes. So y'all be ready to go when y'all see me live later on this evening because it's about to go down. Let me just tell you, I can't wait to give y'all the henny that I have for y'all. So now, as you know, I'm not at the courtroom today. I am resting, I am relaxing, I am chilling, and I have been doing that, okay? I am live because I dedicated myself to give y'all Diddy updates, and this is what I'm about to do. So, where are we getting this from? We are getting from Inner City Press, and we are going to fill in the blanks, and yes, I'm going to be looking to get those transcripts. If y'all want to start a transcript fund, y'all can, but I'm going to tell y'all right now, the transcripts are about $1.50 per transcript. Okay, that's why your girl ain't getting them. Okay, about $1.50 per transcript when you go get them. Okay, and if you try to order them online, it's about $300. So if y'all want to start a GoFundMe for Henny's transcript fund, y'all are free to do that. I'm not gonna do that. If I can get them, I'll get them. But if I can't, then I can't, and we'll just have to wait, and we'll go back and we'll see what we can see once they release them. Anyway, so as y'all know, they ended off with Jimenez. Okay, Jimenez, he did what he did, came in, ate up, said what he said, and he left. Okay, he did not come to play with nobody. All right, so now they went on to break. After they finished everything that they had to say, they brought in the next witness, and the next witness, baby, is Deonte Nash. Now, baby, when I tell you that he came up in here in this courtroom and he said, I got some things to say and I'm finna say them. Oh, he did. Let me go ahead and let me pull this up for y'all so that we can be up to date on what is going on. Now, look at me, still trying to give y'all updates even when I'm over here. Back to where we started with Inner City Press. Now, we already heard from the police detective, okay? They already testified that Diddy was at Kid Cudi's house. They've already testified that there was an old English bottle with a silk scarf inside of it, and speaks to some bougetto-ness that was going on. But now, let me get to where Mr. Nash sashays into our lives, okay? I'm pulling it up. I had it up and then I left, so that was my fault. All right, now, here we go. Let me clear my throat. How did he reach Cassie? We already got to that. Agnafilo. They're having a fit, by the way. The defense team is like little kids having temper tantrums in court. That's the best way that I could describe it. Little kids having temper tantrums in court because they don't want to lose none of that big money that they're getting paid from Big Diddy. Okay, so now they went on and Mr. Nash came in, and the first thing that the AUSA Comey asked him was, are you here under subpoena? He said, yes. Did you want to be here? He says no. Like, he didn't want to be there, right? He confirmed that he worked for Diddy and Cassie in 2008. He called him Puff, so I may slip up and call him Puff because of what we're reading. And he said that he was hired through Craigslist ad for Bad Boy Entertainment. So Bad Boy was really working Craigslist. And I have to remember that back in 2008, Craigslist is where a lot of people went. People went to Craigslist for jobs. People went to Craigslist for apartments. People were on Craigslist, okay? That was the thing to go to. They were even on Craigslist for Backpage, clearly, because that's where they was getting some of these male escorts from, was the Backpage. Remember? Okay, all right. So they asked him, they showed him a photo, and it says, is this a fair and accurate portrayal of how you looked at the time? And he said, not even close. It's a glamour photo. Yes, I look amazing. Okay, so they showed him a photo of what he looked like back then, and he was saying that he looked amazing. All right, so they asked, did Mr. Combs make threats to Cassie? He says yes. Okay, he was testifying to the things that he saw. He already testified and said that Diddy had nicknames for Cassie, and the nicknames that he had for Cassie were and whore. Okay, and his favorite name to call Cassie was a female dog. Woof woof. Okay. Now, he said he did make threats. He would threaten to beat her ass. Okay, that he'd send her slugs tape out. All right. Comey also said, how often would he say he would beat her ass? He said quite a few, quite often. Okay. And he says that she would get like emotional. Like when he would say things like this, she would get super emotional. She would stay in the house for days. She wouldn't go out nowhere. She wasn't allowed to go out and do things without him. She'd go out with him and the friends, and he was with Cassie every day. Like he was every day with her. So he was there witnessing all of this stuff going on. How Diddy would put her stuff out, say he's going to put her stuff out and then take it back. How he was holding her career hostage. How he threatened to get her parents fired from their job. Threatened to send her parents her slugs tape. Like, yeah, it was a lot. But she says, how often would he threaten to beat her ass? He said quite often. So then he says, how often did Mr. Combs say you could not go out without permission? To Cassie. Well, to him. He said twice. The first time we went to a gay club, and it was her, Kyle, him, and Adrian. I don't know who these people are, but he mentioned them. He said then we went to her LA apartment. Puff called and told her she better bring her ass to his house, and she panicked. Okay, do you hear this? Like, oh, you out with your friends, you out partying, you having a good time without me. I'm gonna be the fun time police, and I'm gonna make sure that you bring that ass here, boy, or bring that ass here, man. That's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. So, AUSA Comey says, what did you understand Mr. Combs was saying? So now Donaldson goes to object, and the judge overruled it, okay? So Deonte goes on and says, she packed her stuff and went to her house. Like, she packed up and she went. So then the AUSA showed him a picture and said, did you attend Vanity Fair party? He says, yes. Oscars after party in 2014 with Cassie. Puff was there. Asked, how did she look? Now, Deonte says that she looked bomb. Her hair, he was getting ready to get into what her hair looked like. And then Donaldson, of course, objection. And the judge overruled. So now Nash goes on to say her hair was long. And Puff picked me up and threatened me. I pinned her hair up. So apparently she wasn't allowed to wear her hair long. And I'm going to tell you something. I used to have hair down to my behind. And when I was with my younger two's dad, remember we've had conversations about him. So when I was with my younger two's dad, remember I told y'all that was a thing. I had nice, long, natural hair all the way to my behind. I was not allowed to wear it straight. Could not wear it out if it was straight. It had to be pinned up. The only time I would wear my hair out and I would not have any problems is when it was curly. It sounds like the same damn thing was going on with Diddy. Her hair was out and long. It looked gorgeous. He snatched up Deonte. Pin her fucking hair up now. That was what Diddy was doing. He said, Deonte said, come here, girl. Let me pin that on up on top of your head or something for you, for Diddy coming back and me. All right. So then AUSA Comey was asking about her recording music, and Deonte said she recorded music often. And, she asked like how often would he pick out songs, and he said he would pick out songs for her often, and that he probably should have been called an executive, but Donaldson objection, and that objection was sustained, so she had to redo her question. So she says, Comey says, her mixtape, was it ever sold? Deonte says no, it was put out for free. This man put her music out for free. Which means nobody is profiting. And if she's not profiting, who's funding her lifestyle? Who's controlling her coinage? The diddler. Now, Deonte says that she has a video, I think it's King of Hearts. I think it might be the King of Hearts video. And they mentioned the King of Hearts video that Cassie did. It looks like a freak off. I swear to you, I'm not making this up. Y'all know I don't lie to you. I may miss the mark sometimes. You know, the mark might be here and I might be here when I hit it, but I'm never going to take you all the way down the road. King of Hearts looks like a freak off. I'm telling y'all. It has the camera, photos being taken, red lights, lingerie, bubble bath scenes, dancing scenes and stuff like that. And a guy with a hood on his head creeping into the room, but it's really Cassie, but it looks like a guy. And the guy is holding a camera in his hand. It looks like a freak off. They was telling us about this. She was telling us. Raindrops, 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 breadcrumbs everywhere. No, she's not dancing at a studio in a mirror. She's like in this, it looks like a French hotel or something. Anyway, so then they asked about the role or whatever. They told about the mixtape. So then Comey says, how much of her music was released? Nash said, I'm being generous to say 10%. So only 10%. He's saying only 10% of Cassie's music has ever been released. And I can say, every time I get on a roll. And I can say, but I heard myself, so I don't understand why y'all can't hear me. I can hear me. Every time I get on a roll. And I can say, but I heard myself, so I don't understand why y'all can't hear me. I can hear me. I hear me. And I can say, but I heard myself, so I don't understand why y'all can't hear me. I don't know what's going on and why you can't hear, but I just checked it. I can hear myself. Okay. So, all right. So now let's go back to this. So now, again, for those who said they could not hear, I'm not on mute. I'm not on mute. I'm not on mute. I'm not on mute. Somebody put, where is it? Somebody already said, did Kristen say it? Heidi B said it. Let me pin that. Have to go out and come back in. But I don't know why that is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's like that. It seems like I have to put my microphones in and then y'all say that it goes in and out. It's got to be a YouTube. I hear Henny fine and continuously. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go back for the ones who did not hear. So take my hair down because I look a little, I don't like when I don't have on earrings and eyelashes. I mean, earrings and eyeliner and I'm reporting. I just feel like I look plain. Anyway, that's not the point. So Nash was asked, Deonte Nash was asked how much of Cassie's music was put out. And he said he was being generous in saying that only 10% of Cassie's music has put out. Now, like I was saying, if you go down a rabbit hole of Cassie, you'll see that there's times when she's talking about being in the studio. And let me pin that one. Thank you. All right. So You will see that she's been talking about working in the studio, talking about a new album coming, talking about, she just been talking about that for a long time. And we're like, well, where's the music, Cassie? Because we've never seen the music. You're going to see videos from Cassie that you may not even know the song. Like, where the heck did this song come from? Like, when I saw this King of Hearts video, I was like, where did this come from? Because I never heard anything about no King of Hearts, no none of that. Okay? So, yeah, I would agree with him. But he says only 10%. AUSA Comey says this would be a good place to take a break. So they went on a break, and then they came back from the break, and Nash was still on the stand, and he was still on direct examination with AUSA Comey. So then she says to Nash, well, Deonte, let's not call him Nash. Let's call him Deonte. Because let me let y'all in on a little secret. That was supposed to be my son's name. I was going to name my son Deonte. I swear to you, it's not a lie. I was going to name him Deonte, but I named him what I named him. Anywho, let's continue. So she says, we want to show Mr. Nash a photo of this afternoon's witness, Mia. I'm so mad I'm not there to catch Mia, but if Mia's there tomorrow, baby, I'm going to get it all. I'm going to get it all for you, okay? So they show him a picture of Mia, and they said without the screen in the gallery showing the photo. So they cut the feed, which means when they're not showing it to the gallery, that means that we don't get to see it, okay? We don't get to see it. So they showed him Mia, and he's... Oh, she was saying when they show him that, they want to show him that picture of Mia. And they want to cut the feed to the gallery, all right? So when he gets back up on the stage, Deonte gets back up on the stage, AUSA Comey is like, how many times in person have you witnessed Mr. Comey be violent? And Deonte says quite a few. Comey says, this is a sealed exhibit. Without saying her name, do you recognize this person will call Mia? So he says, yes. So Comey says, what were you and Mia helping Cassie pack for? Because apparently Cassie was packing her stuff. So Deonte goes to OVO Fest in Canada. So Comey says, who came to the door? He says, Puff. So he says, Puff, he said, bitch, didn't I tell you to answer your phone? Then he dragged her by the hair and hit her because she didn't answer the phone, which corroborates what Cassie was telling us about. She couldn't do nothing. She couldn't go nowhere. She couldn't have friends. She couldn't do anything. Okay. And it goes along with the theme that we keep hearing about her being drugged by the hair, drugged by the hair, drugged by the hair, drugged by the hair. Like this girl, I can imagine what her head felt like, okay? And I'm not even being funny. So Comey asked him, how hard was he hitting her? And Donaldson says, objection. So the judge says, overruled, okay? Nash says, very hard. We ran to the bathroom, but Puff pushed it open. He continued to attack Cassie with his fist. So now they ran to the bathroom. They closed the door, and Puff just busts through the door, and he's boom, just... all because she didn't answer her phone, but she was packing to go to the OVO Fest. He witnessed it, okay? So now, Comey says, what did you do to try to help Cassie? Deonte says, I jumped on Puff's back. He threw me and Mia too. He threw them off of him. Like they did try to intervene. This is the first time that we are hearing that somebody actually tried to jump in and intervene between the fight between Cassie getting beat down by Puff. This is the first time that we're hearing someone jumped up in there to try to separate it, and he threw them off of him. Then we heard that Capricorn tried to get somebody to help because she was scared to jump in, because he said, if you jump in, I'm going to fuck you up too. So she's trying to get security to help, and security would not help. But she was making calls like, somebody please help her. Somebody please get him, tell him to stop. She was trying. And now we hear that Deonte and this girl Mia, this assistant Mia, is going to testify to this too. Okay. But they tried to jump in and they tried to save Cassie. This is the first time anybody has physically said they've jumped in between. This, when I tell you, Deonte Nash cooked, chef cooking with the pot. Oh, all right. So then, Deonte goes on to say Cassie's head hit the bed frame and was bleeding, but Puff continued hitting her. Do you hear this? He said Cassie's head hit the bed frame and she was bleeding, but Puff continued hitting her. Now, you know that there are bits and pieces that we are missing because we are getting this from Inner City Press today. I'm not in the courtroom today, but I'm giving it to y'all. And y'all, do y'all not hear this? He continued hitting her. So Comey goes, where was Mia? Deonte says getting towels. So Comey says, what did Mr. Combs say to you and Mia and Cassie? Deonte said, he said, look what y'all made me do. He said she'd go to a plastic surgeon. Now you know what I'm wondering after hearing this? How many times has she been to plastic surgery? But this is not the first time that we've heard about him doing some type of damage to someone and then sending them to plastic surgery. Remember that it's been alleged that he broke Kim's nose one night and sent her to the plastic surgeon as well. So how many times did Cassie get sent to a plastic surgeon? Henny, are there any A-list celebrities that are going to testify because Beyonce stopped Diddy from hitting Cassie? No, I don't know, and I never heard of Beyonce stopping Diddy from hitting Cassie. This is the first time I'm hearing it. Hey, Gemini. Hey, Trust. Hey, everybody. Hey, Miss Pammy. Hey, everybody. Hey, Uniquely Boo. You see I ain't taked it off yet. All right, so Comey asked with who, and Deonte says D-Rock. He was Puff's security. So Comey says, after that, when did you see her? After that incident, when did he see her? So Deonte says the next day, FaceTime or something like that, she had a gash in her eyebrow. So y'all remember that picture that we saw of Cassie with this gash in her eyebrow? That's what that came from. The gash in the eyebrow came from Diddy jumping on her and her head hitting the bed frame. Oh, okay. I don't know if she's going to be called. I doubt that she'll even come. So now, Comey says, what did Mr. Combs say? So Deonte said, he said, y'all better get out of my house. He was grabbing her by the hair. He pushed her out the door, then began to do the same to me. But I don't have hair. He popped me. He told me to go downstairs and wait. So, oh, I'm sorry. I skipped something. Okay, so Comey asked him after the eyebrow gash. She asked him, were you once cooking with Cassie when Mr. Combs got violent? And he says, yes. Puff came. Yes, Puff came. So then that's when he goes on to say that, you know, Diddy said to them, y'all better get out of my house. He was grabbing her by the hair. He was pushing her out and out the door and began to do the same to me, but I don't have hair. So he popped me and told me to go downstairs and wait. They came down and Puff was belligerent with us. As we drove off, we got a phone call. Donaldson said, objection. The judge says, new question. So Comey says, a call from who? So Deonte says, Puff. He told us to stop and he came to the window. He said he'd put her sex tapes out on the internet. Now you just beat on this girl. You told her to get out. She's leaving in the car. She's going with Deonte and Mia. And Diddy has them stop the car. He's like, I'll leak your tapes on the internet if you keep going. Deonte goes on to say, Puff said he sent her sex tapes to her parents' job and get them fired, that her brother was an ish, and that only he protected her. Typical psychological warfare that is going on right now. Imagine this, imagine this, imagine this. He tried to help. It's giving the optics of nobody could help her. Nobody could help her. Nobody could help her. This is, the more we hear, the worse this gets, okay? You want to talk about coercion. You want to talk about violent threats. They still don't see the RICO, though, you guys. They still don't see the RICO. They see him being a monster. They see him being a demon, but they don't see him being in a RICO. Cassie was there because she wanted to be. Cassie was there of her own. Puff ain't do nothing to keep her there. He didn't have a pow-pow to her head. No, he just had a fist and a foot to her head. Let's continue. Thank you, Nino Black. Nino Black says, damn, and people still think there's no RICO and she's not a victim. Hello? All right. So now, Comey asked Deonte, what did you tell her? So Deonte says that Puff is on the sex tape too. She said he's not. He was taping with her with other men. So Comey said, what did she say about wanting or not wanting to have slegs with other men? Donaldson objected. The judge said, overruled. Overruled. We're not about to stop this testimony. The judge was like, he's cooking, let him cook. Let him cook. So Deonte said that she didn't want to. I drove her to Sunset Boulevard to get a taxi. Comey said, why? Deonte said, Uber wasn't really a thing yet. Puff came to my house looking for her. He looked in my oven. I'm not sure why. Puff took my phone and Cassie called from a hotel. Puff said, let's go there. Bad Boy staff stayed there. Comey says, what did Mr. Combs say? Deonte said, he said, go get her. So he's ordering Deonte to go get Cassie from the hotel and bring her to him. Now pause. Because didn't we just hear Capricorn Clark say the same damn thing? That when Cassie was at the Sunset Marquee and she was over there with Kid Cudi, that Puff told her, go get her and bring her to me. Tell her that I have you and I'm not letting you go until she comes to me. And Capricorn Clark had to go get Cassie and bring her back. This is the same thing he told Deonte. Go get her from the hotel. Bring her back. And yes, you heard him say, Diddy was in his house looking for Cassie and he looked everywhere, including the oven. What grown-ass person is fitting in the damn oven? Somebody tell me that. What size oven did he have that somebody could hide in there? Who would even hide in the damn oven? And now the monstrous activities that we're hearing with on, I'm questioning if he would have found him in the oven, what would he have done? Would he have closed the door and turned it on? I'm just saying. This is out of control. This is beyond a hostile work environment. It really is. It really, really is. So now Deonte says he went to Cassie's hotel room with D-Rock and Tony. So now he goes on the orders of Diddy to go get Cassie with security. He's using bad boy employees to inflict coercion, to threaten, to violence, to entrap. Like he's using them to do his bidding and his dirty work. So now he sends Deonte and D-Rock. And now we're hearing Tony. I don't know who Tony is. I missed who Tony is. I'm going to find out who Tony is. But sends them with Deonte. Now he didn't send nobody with Capricorn Clark. But he sent security with Deonte to the hotel to go get Cassie. So now D-Rock says she jumped in and she was frightened. She said she would jump off the balcony. This girl, I wish he didn't have all that money, because if he didn't, he'd be getting his arse whooped in there. Okay? Salute to Sherman Swagger and Nino Black up in here. Salute to everybody that's just coming in, tapping in, tuning in. Make sure y'all are double tapping that screen. We got 348 up in here right now. There should be at least 100 to 200 likes. Y'all double tap the screen. Double tap the screen for the content, because you here listening and I appreciate you. So, Comey says, how high was the balcony? Deonte said it wasn't the first floor. Downstairs, I saw four or five of Puff's security waiting. Puff told me, you played me. I drove off, but Puff security followed me. I turned off my lights and drove really fast and went to the Universal Sheraton. Comey asked, did you go home the next day? Deonte says, yes. I found my backpack was stolen. It had $1,000 in it. So Comey said, why did you keep $1,000 cash? Deonte said, so when Puff was mad, I could check into a hotel without giving my name. He had to check into hotels without giving his names to hide from Puff, to hide from Diddy. This is an employee. This is an employee that had to go register himself. I'm still in New York, Felicia, but I did not go to the trial today because I'm still kind of sore from all the hacking and coughing that I was doing over the weekend. So I'm giving y'all a recap of everything. So Comey said, what happened in 2025? Deonte says, I saw Puff slap Cassie in the face. He said, get this out of here. Comey said, what did you do? Deonte said, got her out. Comey said, the perfect match premiere. What did you see? Deonte says, Cassie had a black eye. Now, if you remember, Cassie was in the movie, The Perfect Match. She's at the premiere with a freaking black eye. Cassie testified to this. But she's at the premiere. He's visually seeing that she had a black eye. This ain't the first time we've heard about that, because remember the makeup artist that got up on the stand? She said when Cassie was getting ready to go to the Grammys, I believe it was, the Grammys or one of those, she had a black eye and that she had to get a makeup artist to cover the black eye. Comey said, when was Mr. Combs violent with you about, violent with you at a, wasn't Mr. Combs, or when was Mr. Combs violent with you at a music video? Deonte says, yes, I was outside smoking a cigarette. Puff came and threw me on the car and started choking me out. Puff said, y'all keep going out. Comey asked him, did you report any of this to the police? Deonte says, no, I was afraid of retaliation from Puff. So here we hear why people are not going to the police, because they're scared of retaliation from Diddy. So now this man has already testified to the fact that he's kept $1,000 cash in a book bag in case Diddy gets mad at him, so he go check into a hotel under an assumed name so Diddy can't find him. Now we're hearing that he's also putting his hands on him, that he was outside smoking a cigarette and Diddy walked up on him mad because he said, y'all keep going out. Remember I told y'all he doesn't want her going out. He doesn't want her going out with her friends or none of that. And she kept going out with Deonte, and Puff is like, y'all keep playing. Diddy's like, y'all keep playing with me. Y'all keep playing with me. So now he done snatched him up, yoked him up. And he didn't call the police because he knew that Diddy was going to retaliate. But now we're finding out today, Diddy had somebody that was working for him down there in that LAPD. Okay, we already heard that LAPD was corrupt. We've already heard this for decades. We've heard this, okay? Now we're seeing it. Because, oh yeah, that's right. I did get a timeline for y'all. Those fingerprint cards disappeared the following month. Not even the next year. The following month, they disappeared. Make your eyebrows itch, don't it? So now that's coming into play about how he had police in the back pocket anyway. So now what good was it going to do to call the police again? I'm sorry. What good was that going to do? What? I'm sorry. I don't hear you. Oh, baby, we've been hearing that since before Tupac. We've been hearing that since the days of Rodney King. Did they say who the mole was yet? No. That's how he covered up everything with Tupac. I don't know. We're not bringing Tupac into this, guys, because Tupac is not a part of this case. They have not brought Tupac, Biggie, none of that stuff, Justin Bieber, Usher, none of that stuff has been brought up in this case. So we are not discussing that right now. We're sticking to what's going on in the case. We'll talk about all of that stuff later on. I promise you, I will do panels and let you guys come up and we can all conspiracy theory and all of that stuff and spin the way that y'all like to spin. But right now, we're going to stick to what's being said in this courtroom because I don't want anybody getting confused. I already see people asking me if Will Smith testified. Will Smith has not testified. Jamie Foxx has not testified. That is an AI video. Jamie Foxx was not at court. Okay, you would have been heard that a long time ago if Jamie Foxx came in. I don't know if Beyonce is coming in. We do not hear anything. But what I can tell you is Uncle Paulie at some point is going to come in and testify. I got paperwork to prove that. But anywho, so he was afraid of retaliation. So now Comey says, did you ever get anyone on staff? So Deonte says, Christina Karam, KK. And Comey says, what did she say? Like, you know, she got somebody on the phone and he was talking to KK about this. He was telling KK what was going on. And KK, he says that KK told him that she would talk to Diddy. We know KK ain't gonna talk to Diddy. KK was like his right hand, okay? So Comey says, did anything change? And Deonte says no. So Comey says, how often did you help Cassie hide? Deonte said often, okay? He often helped her to hide. So Comey asked him, what did Mr. Combs do? Deonte says he would blow our phones up. KK would too. She would say Puffy was calm. Cassie would go back. Comey said, did Cassie tell you she was going to a hotel with Mr. Combs? Deonte says, yes, weekly. She would pack Lex toys. Comey said, did she say she wanted to go? Donaldson said, object. And the judge says, overruled, let him cook. Let him cook. Let him keep cooking. Because he's eating, honey. He's eating. And imagine when we get the full transcript. When we get the full transcript of everything, oh, baby, imagine how this is going to eat even more, baby. Imagine how this is going to eat even more because he is serving it. He's serving it. All right. So now Deonte says she said she didn't want to go. So Comey says her 29th birthday. Tell me. So Deonte goes, Puff asked me, should he surprise her on her birthday? Comey said, what did you say? Deonte said, girl, I was not about to tell him not to surprise her. Girl, I was not about to tell that man not to surprise her. All right. So, Comey says, oh, no, don't do that. So Comey says, did she use the word freak off with you? Deonte said, not like freak off, more like freak off. Like a verb. So now Comey says, where did you go after the Blind Dragon? So they had gone out and they went out to the Blind Dragon. So Deonte says 875 Comstock, like 17A. Puff said, y'all gonna get some D tonight? So Comey says, what did Miss Ventura say? Deonte said that she didn't want to go, but he made her. They left the house. She was super high. So now he's telling you that she has told him. Remember, this is somebody that is with her every day. She told him she don't want to go. She doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to do a freak off. Diddy is ruining her birthday with a freak off. He's surprising her with a damn freak off. And he said she was high out of her mind, which means she's high out of her mind getting ready to go into a freak off, which brings in non-consensual freak off. She's high out of her mind. Remember, the law says clean, sober mind is consent. Anything that alters that is not. Remember, that's law. That's not just Henny said. That is law, you guys. So now AUSA Comey says, New Year's Eve, 2017. Where were you? So Deonte says Vegas with Cassie and the staff, all on the same floor of the hotel. Puff's room was at the end of the hallway. Didn't he testify to having a whole floor to himself? Not testify, but didn't he say that on Ellen? Remember, he said that on Ellen when they was talking about the hotel, and he said he gets the whole floor. It's amazing how things come to light, isn't it? Child, I don't know what I did with my damn... There it is. She's hard to get through it. Exactly. So now Comey says, what did Combs tell you? So Deonte says that Cassie had been asleep for 24 hours and I had to wake her up. So Comey said, did she wake up? Deonte said, she woke up for me. Comey said, what did Mr. Combs say? Deonte said that he'd spent all his money, so she had to. Then there was a low-budget producer. How many meetings with prosecutors did you end early? He said probably all of them. So Comey said, did you stay in touch with Mr. Combs? Deonte says yes. So Comey says, what was your tone? Deonte said loving. And so Comey asked him why. He said, I don't hate him. It's just not in me. And AUSA Comey said, no further questions. Now, we are going to get into the defense because I know you guys want to hear the defense, but let's stop right there. He didn't like what Diddy did to Cassie, but he did not hate him. Not only that, you've got to remember, they have to keep some type of a rapport going. because they need to keep their jobs. But the way Comey set all of this up was to show he's not testifying under malice. In fact, he didn't even want to come there and testify. But he's there because he got subpoenaed. But he has no ill feelings in his heart towards Diddy. So you can't say that he's there as a disgruntled employee and he feels some type of way towards Diddy. You can't say that because he said his tone is loving with him and that he doesn't hate him. That lawsuit was Cassie back pay. At this point, getting pimped on your birthday is crazy work, right? And my Ellen said she would not go to any party. That part. Should have took the plea, dummy. Okay. He said it's not in him. He said it's not in him. Thank you for the flower, Ashley. So now the judge tells them when they come back, okay, that they might stay till 4 o'clock today. So right now they're still in there testifying and Deonte is on the stand. So guess who's coming tomorrow? Mia. It's like the gods heard me and they knew. They knew. Henny gotta be there for Mia. Henny gotta be there for Mia because Henny has talked about Mia and I will be there, okay? The personal business that I have to handle, I have plenty of time to travel to go do it, okay? Anyway, so the witness has a flight back to LA tonight. We'll rebook if we have to, but if we could stay a little later and finish with him, this is what Comey is saying. I know he'd appreciate it. The judge says, I think we can. I told the jurors we might stay until 4. So then the judge lets them know we're staying till 4. Donaldson says, how are you? He gets on there because now it's cross-examination time. So Donaldson is the one that's taking on Deonte. Let's see how Donaldson did. So Donaldson says, how are you? Deonte says, blessed. I'm blessed. Blessed and highly favored, baby. So Donaldson says, when he met with the government, when you met with the government, you had an attorney present. So he says, Deonte says, yes. Donaldson says the subpoena didn't mean you had to go to their office. So Deonte says, right. Donaldson said, you hired a civil lawyer, Mr. Dunn, to represent you, considering litigation against Mr. Combs. Here they go, trying to paint him as the disgruntled employee. Get ready for a surprise, because you know they're about to try to pull some tricks out they had. You know that their job is to plant reasonable doubt. So let's see where he's going with this. So Deonte says no. So Donaldson says, does this document show that? So now Deonte goes, it's their assumption, but no, I have no counsel to protect me. I don't do federal court. Period. I don't do federal court. I'm only here because y'all subpoenaed me. Read between the lines. Anyway, Donaldson says on March 10th of 2025, did you not tell Ms. Comey that you are considering a civil complaint against Mr. Combs? Deonte says no. So Donaldson pulls up an exhibit and says, what's this? So Deonte says Cassie in a video for a mixtape. Deonte says, and 1801, they pull up another one. Here we go. Usher. Cassie and Usher. This is in 2016, Bad Boy Reunion show. So, Bad Boy Reunion show, you see Cassie and Usher. We ain't finna talk about Usher unless it goes there, okay? But they brought up Cassie and Usher as being there performing together. So we not, okay? All right. So now, Donaldson asked him, did you pick out that dress? So Deonte says, I don't remember. Donaldson said, you didn't start as a celebrity stylist. It was that Mr. Combs introduced you to Cassie, right? So Deonte says, I met her, Miss Fine. So Donaldson says, so it's Mr. Combs who made you a celebrity stylist. Deonte says, sure, go ahead. Like he's trying to play him and downgrade him. So Donaldson said, I'm going ahead. I'm going ahead. You trying to clap back, Donaldson? It ain't gonna work. Anyway, so as a celebrity stylist, you pick clothes like for Miss Fine's wedding. Miss Fine, did y'all catch that? Miss Fine. He said, I met her, Miss Fine. That's Cassie, Miss Fine. Okay, don't let that go over your head. I made sure we circled the block with that. But anyway, so Deonte says yes. So Donaldson says, do you know Groovy Lou? So Deonte says yes. Donaldson said, as head of Bad Boy, it was in Mr. Combs' interest that his artist Cassie looked good, right? Deonte says, I suppose. So Donaldson says, and Bad Boy paid for Cassie's studio time, right? Deonte says, yes. Donaldson said, Miss Ventura can't go to the studio under Mr. Combs' pay. So, unless Mr. Combs pays is what that means. So Donaldson said, what is young and reckless? So Deonte says, a streetwear clothing brand. Cassie owned a part of it. So Donaldson said Mr. Combs had nothing to do with it. So Deonte says he had to approve everything. So Donaldson said, wasn't Bina Brian Bongolian involved? Deonte says, as stylist. So Donaldson said, who else were you styling for in 2016? So Deonte says, Cassie, Puff, Mace, and Little Kim. Donaldson, major artist. And on the mixtape, you were executive producer, but got no credit. Meek Mill was on the mixtape. Mr. Deonte says yes, and Pusha T, yes. All right, so he was listed as an executive producer on a mixtape of Cassie's, but never got any credit for it. So Deonte asked for a break, and the judge says yes. The jury leaves. So the judge says to Mr. Donaldson, how much more? Donaldson says, no way, I'll be finished by 4. So the judge says, did you know that before I told the jury it would be 4? Donaldson said, I didn't know, but the judge says, well, we'll go till 4. And Comey says, I'll rebook. And that's where we left it as of 7 minutes ago. That's what they put up there. So now it looks like Deonte is going to be there another day testifying because the government is, let me tell you what they're doing. They're flying people in. They're putting them up in hotels. They're paying for their rides to and from court. They're getting them in and out of here, in and out of here, in and out of here, in and out of here. All right? So now they flew Deonte in from wherever he came from. So now guess what that means? If he's saying that he's going to go past 4 o'clock, meaning he doesn't think he's going to make it another 30 minutes. If you don't think you're going to make it in another 30 minutes, then we're going to have to rebook. So they got 30 more minutes and then court is over, baby. But as of right now, it looks like Deonte is cooking and booking, all right? And guess what? Your girl will be down to the courthouse tomorrow, and we will be catching everything that this one right here has to say. I'm going to tell you all about his bravado, his energy, and all of that because I'm loving the way that he is serving down already. But we are seeing that there is coercion. There is the RICO. The RICO started being built from day one, but the obvious RICO, the enterprise, is being shown this week. That's what's being exposed. Okay, Capricorn Clark came in and said, y'all want to know the enterprise? Y'all want to see the enterprise? Here I am, boom, boom, boom. And Deonte Nash is like, you want to talk? You want to run your mouth? We'll set this off. And that's exactly what he is in there doing, honey. He is setting it off. So now what do y'all think down here in the comments about Mr. Deonte's testimony? Because, baby, I say he's giving everything that needs to be given, okay? While y'all tell me what y'all think, let me go on ahead and let me pull this up for y'all so that I can make sure that I give y'all the updates to things. So, just so y'all know, we were talking about what they were trying to get struck from off the record, the objections that they had. So now here is what they have in objection to. They want to omit Uncle Paulie's statements. Okay, so Uncle Paulie has made some statements that the defense is now wanting to have omitted. It is a redacted document. They also want to object to Dawn Richard's testimony, which you know that already. They also want to object to subpoenas of Cassie's hotel demand letters, because apparently they're trying to see what her demand letter was so they could bring that up into court. And they're trying their hardest to get Cassie. The defense is trying to get Cassie back up there on that witness stand. You know why? Because they've sat and they conferred with Diddy. And Diddy has some more tricks up his sleeve about Cassie. So now they did their digging to find out what was going on with her settlement. But that settlement has nothing to do with this case. But they are trying like hell to get her back up there on that stand. Cassie just went to the hospital. Are you serious? You're not getting her back up on that stand. Also, hold on. I told y'all about Dr. Dawn Hughes. I thought I saw something for Capricorn Clark, that they had an issue with Capricorn Clark as well. Maybe I misunderstood, but I thought I saw something where they were also objecting to Capricorn Clark. Denial to hotel demand letter. They should have went after 369 and 370. Summary charts, objection. Yes, objection to Capricorn Clark's testimony. Y'all ready? Let me go on ahead and read this for y'all. So it says, the parties have been conferring, and we apologize for our lateness. The parties have resolved the Rule 106 issue that could arise tomorrow. Now, this was prior to her testifying, I believe. Hold on. Is this it? Okay. So this is a document dated May 12th. Now, this was supposed to have been sent out to us, okay? It should have been uploaded. It wasn't. It says that the government respectfully requests that the court address two topics tomorrow morning. First, the government requests that the court revisit the motion to preclude cross regarding victim one's assault unrelated to the defendant. Second, the government understands that the defense objects to the following prior consent statements, which the government will seek to introduce through Ms. Ventura tomorrow. So an email from December 23rd, 2011, the threats that have been made towards me by Sean Puffy Combs are that he's going to release 2 explicit Slegs tapes of me on Christmas Day, maybe before or right after, and another one sometime soon after that. A text message with her manager on December of 2012. Is Puff okay with you doing a common video? I don't know. I'll find out. He'll probably say no. LOL. Puff said no video. Another one, a text message to a friend on February 6th of 2013 saying that the defendant accused her of dancing with another artist and bugged out, taking her phone, her laptop, and her car away. Okay. The government will be prepared to address these statements tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. The government will argue that the defense has opened the door to these prior consent statements by attacking Cassie's credibility in opening statements, including the following statements. They were all getting something each of them wanted from him and from being in a romantic relationship with him. One, that is something that the defense has said. 2, and each of the women you will hear from, they all had personal responsibility and the freedom to make choices they made. That's a statement that they made as well. 2, so now the third one is, but each of these individuals, ask yourself, what is the person getting? They are with him or they are working for him because they are getting something they want from being with him. Now each person, that's something made. Now, with each person, that something may be different, and as usual but with each person, they are getting something. Thank you for the super chat, Ashley, she says, Capricorn and this young man have said enough already. Just sentencing him now. They have confirmed Cassie and Cudi's story. Just sentence him now. I feel you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. So now, these are the statements that they've made by saying that she's made choices. It's a list of statements. We're going to read them all. I'm going to read them all to you. All right. The next one is, you've heard that in his relationships with both Cassie and Jane, he brought them things. Yes, every relationship, they got things from their boyfriend. And like every relationship, they got things from their boyfriend. He's a wealthy rapper, paid for their housing. He paid Cassie's car. He gave them money. These are nice houses that he paid for. It was a nice car that Cassie drove, and they were nice vacations on private planes because he's a wealthy individual. These were vacations that they took together as a couple. And as I have said, like every relationship, there was jealousy, and there were flaws. But as you evaluate the evidence in this case, remember that he is not charged with being a flawed person or having a flawed relationship. They did not stay with him over and over again because of force, fraud, or coercion. Really? Because that's not what we're hearing. That is not what we are hearing. But this is what the government was saying in their opening statement in the beginning. This is what the government was saying. So now, them saying all of this, we're seeing the total opposite, okay? For Cassie, she made every choice every single day for years. This is where this rhetoric is coming from. So when people are talking about there's no RICO, it's just this, it's just that. Oh, she stayed. They wanted money. They wanted pay. That's because they're going off of the defense's narrative. And let me explain something to you. When you have a person that has that much money, you don't think that they're paying bots. They have bots to come in people's chats and say things like that. You think they don't have a couple $100s to slide off to people? Hey, I'll give you $200 if you show up down there to the courthouse. Some people will do it for $100. I'll give you $100 to go down there to the courthouse for 30 minutes and walk around the crowd and just say things like yesterday. There was a Hispanic boy out there and he was talking about allegedly, Puff ain't do nothing. Everything is allegedly. I had a slaves trafficking charge myself, this, that, and the third. It's not this, it's not that. And people were eating up. Bloggers were actually recording him. I didn't record him because I felt like he was a plant. Okay, yo, this is so wild. If this man wasn't in court, you wouldn't believe all of this crazy stuff went on and no one would say nada. Why do you think they want him out? They need him out. That family needs him out because he's afforded them a lifestyle that they can't afford on their own. Let's be real. Justin is running Combs Enterprise, but if you're putting all your money on King, that he gonna be the next Puff. Child, that family will starve. Janice Combs will be walking around with them beauty supply store wigs. She ain't gonna have them high quality flown in from overseas good hair wigs no more. Why do you let me see, what did Kristen say? She said if Cassie could have gotten her money from her music, she wouldn't need his money. Then he threatened to ruin her life. Right. Him not selling her music is another form of control and power. We wouldn't know if he didn't fall out with Ciroc. Come on, clock it. Yeah, Christian is definitely not going to make it. Why are y'all like this? No, you... Edna! They can see all the proof of abuse, but because they hate women, they'll still blame Cassie and still be Diddy apologists. Proof can't change misogyny. Okay, Purple Society, come on through and clock it, okay? But basically, they made all of these claims, and so the government, like, they've tried to stop them from saying things. Now, hold on, I'm trying to find the one where they's talking about our girl Capricorn. What y'all talking when y'all talking what y'all talking over here? They're still going, just so you guys know, but I'm trying to see if I can find this letter for y'all really quickly so that I can read it to y'all. This is the Kid Cudi witness statement, Dr. Hughes' testimony. Hold on. Dawn Richard. Aha, here we go. So this was dated March 26th, which was the day before Capricorn Clark was supposed to testify, okay? And this is coming from who is this coming from? All right, so they're responding. All right, and it says the government respectfully writes to address the defendant's anticipated objections to portions of Miss Capricorn Clark's testimony. Specifically, the defense objects to Miss Clark's testimony regarding threats she received during a 2004 kidnapping and statements made by Miss Ventura to Miss Clark regarding an assault from Mr. Combs. For reasons stated below, the court should admit Miss Clark's testimony, but it's redacted. So we can't see that part, okay? They gave a background. Capricorn Clark, a former employee of Combs, is expected to testify that in or around 2004, Combs gave Miss Clark expensive jewelry for safekeeping. The jewelry subsequently went missing. Combs then directed Miss Clark to the bad boy office where she was interrogated by Paulie Offord, aka Uncle Paulie, Combs' head of security and longtime bodyguard, regarding the jewelry. When the jewelry was not located, Uncle Paulie searched Capricorn's apartment in Astoria, but was unable to locate it. Uncle Paulie informed Capricorn that he would pick her up at her apartment the next day. The following day, Uncle Paulie picked up Capricorn and took her to a deserted building, which has been leased as the new office space for Bad Boy. There, Capricorn was administered a lie detector test by a heavyset male over the course of 5 days. Prior to admitting the test, male 1 threatened Capricorn that she would be thrown in the East River if she failed the test. The threat made Capricorn panic, and she was told the test produced non-conclusive results. Male 1, which is the guy who gave her the lie detector, to make sure, continue to make sure threats to Miss Clark, continued to make similar threats to Miss Clark as the test continued. Uncle Paulie periodically checked in on Capricorn, although he was not present for the threats. At night, after the lie detector test had concluded each day, Uncle Paulie took Capricorn home. Each morning, Uncle Paulie took Capricorn to the building where male 1 administered the lie detector test again. Miss Clark felt compelled to return to the building to take the test due to the threats made to her by male 1. In addition, Capricorn is expected to testify that in or around 2011, she witnessed an assault of Miss Ventura by Mr. Combs. The prior evening, Combs and Miss Ventura had spent the night at the hotel. Early the next morning, Mr. Combs appeared at Miss Capricorn Clark's apartment with a firearm and demanded that Clark accompany him to the residence of Mr. Cudi to locate him. Mr. Combs later demanded that Miss Clark bring Miss Ventura to him. Shortly thereafter, Capricorn was assaulted by Mr. Combs at the hotel. Oh, wait, whoa. Met with Miss Ventura and Mr. Cudi. Miss Ventura informed Miss Clark that she had been assaulted by Mr. Combs at the hotel. Although Mr. Combs had directed Miss Clark to return Miss Ventura to him, Miss Clark was hesitant to do so because of Miss Ventura's statement about the defendant's prior abuse. Miss Clark ultimately drove with Miss Ventura back to Mr. Combs' residence where Miss Ventura was assaulted by Mr. Combs in Mr. Clark's presence. So now the decision is Miss Clark's testimony is admissible for the non-hearsay purpose of establishing the effect of the statements on Miss Clark and or the threats to Miss Clark. Further, the disputed statements are highly relevant and not unduly prejudicial. Accordingly, the statements are admitted under Rule 401 and 403. So the defense was trying to get Capricorn Clark's testimony that she gave about those chains of event taken out of her testimony. But the judge ruled that they were admissible, so another L for them. But these are the types of things that have been going on behind the scenes. And technically, we're supposed to get these things. As soon as they are submitted to the judge, it's supposed to be readily available to the public. It's supposed to go right into Pacer. These things are not going into Pacer immediately. This thing for Capricorn Clark should have been in 2 days ago. It should not just be getting to Pacer today. So this is the thing that the press has had an issue with when it comes down to getting information from this court case. It's like they're dragging their feet. They're holding things up. I just told y'all they want, if I get the transcripts in person, they're $150, $150. If you want them from off online, it's $300. So yeah, that's why, you know, and if I can get the transcripts from other people, I will get the transcripts from others, you know, I will. But right now, I'm not focused on transcripts. But I told y'all before, transcripts cost money. And these right here, they're flying like they're selling them like they're a hot commodity. I mean, they probably will be later on. But yeah, the price is outrageous right now. All right, so they are back. Okay, they are back. They are back. They are back. All right. So the first question that Donaldson hits Deonte with when they come back from the break is, you saw her take rugs, talking about Cassie, and Deonte says cocaine, ecstasy, and MDMA. Now we're hearing about cocaine. They was doing that booger sugar, girl. Oh no. So Donaldson said mushrooms and acid. So Deonte said, I'm not like privy to that. So Donaldson goes, not to get into your business. Have you used cocaine? So Deonte says yes. So Donaldson says, you smoked pot before meeting prosecutors? Deonte said yes. And Maureen cut it short. Meaning Miss Comey. When he smoked his little Mary Jane before he went in to go see Miss Comey found out that he was smoking a Mary Jane, and she was like, no, we're not about to question you while you are on Mary Jane, sir. It may be legal on the state level, but it is not legal on the federal level, okay? So Deonte says, oh no, Donaldson says, you told her you were high. Deonte says that I was smoking. So Donaldson says, making a video costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. So Deonte says, not necessarily. And that is where we are right now. Deonte don't care. Donaldson, wake it up. Wake it up. Wake it up, because you just, child. MDMA is like Molly, but in a purer sense, a purer form of Molly. You know, it's a party drug. It's a feel good. You know, it's something that you take when, you know, you want to party. It's something that you take when you want to have a great night of sex. Okay. Paulie offered, I think is his real name. Yes, that is his name. Paulie offered. Uncle Paulie took over from Gene Deal, or they may have been there almost at the same time, but Gene left shortly after. I believe that is who took over for Gene Deal. Roger Bond was not his head of security. Obviously, we're hearing that it was Uncle Paulie. But I'm just trying to like get a sense for D-Rock, because now we're not hearing too much about D-Rock. At what point in time did D-Rock decide that this was too much for him? Like, at what point in time do any of these security guards decide that it's too much for them? We've seen Roger Bonds out here giving interviews left and right. Okay, he's been on Camp Capone. He's been on DJ Vlad. He's been around the world, talking. So it's like, if you already out here, I don't know if he's going to get subpoenaed into court or if he's going to be testifying. But I know that Uncle Paulie is testifying at some point. When he does, be like, Henny, you told it. You called it. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. What about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? He said, I need a blunt to deal with this shit. Right? Another bad day for Diddy. That part. Edna, I'm a little lost. Uncle Paulie sound like Diddy right-hand man in this mob called Bad Boy Records. That part. And D-Rock the hand man. There you go. They the white equivalent of Cassie and Diddy. Yeah, but guess what? Johnny wasn't under federal charges. That was a civil RICO. Sorry, I was looking at something, y'all. Johnny Wax proven innocent and Amber was lying, though. That's the difference. I'm talking about their trial. All I heard was those shrooms. This is crazy work. This is crazy work. But they getting ready to end court for the day. He's still up on the stand. So when I get there tomorrow, they're going to start with him and they probably going to roll right on into Mia right after. And I'm going to be right there. Thank you, Lord. Because I was like, I want to see Mia. Henny, is it legal to come to court and testify when... Let's make you inebriated. I don't know. Child, what I do hope is that he don't get up there and say, yeah, I smoked one before I came in here. If he says, I smoked one before I came in here, the defense is going to ask for a mistrial. What about the Punisher dude? Did something happen to him? How I see it, Capricorn, Uncle Paulie, D-Rock, and Ruben are the Enterprise. Oh, no. Oh, no, honey. You forgetting some names. You're forgetting the other two assistants. Hold on. Oh, my bag is in the living room. I can't do it. I can't even do it right now. But you got the two other assistants outside of Capricorn. So that is 3 assistants that have already testified. You have this gentleman, Deonte Nash, who is up here and he is testifying to the Enterprise as well. You've got Cassie, who has given testimony as to who were characters within the Enterprise. You got Chef Jordan that is going to come and testify. You got Uncle Paulie that's coming to testify. And you got Mia that's coming to testify. So now that's 8 people speaking to the Enterprise. Yeah. But there's no RICO. But there's no RICO. And then there's KK. I don't know. I feel like KK is going to be a defense witness. I really do. I feel like KK is going to be a defense witness. I don't know why, but I'm just really in love with my locks right now. Like, they really look good. I'm loving them. KK, I think is her name, Christina Karam. What if it's KK? Wait a minute. No, because it says that he graped. Oh, is it KK? It's gotta be KK. If KK might be for the defense though, but if she's on the prosecution side, oh, if that is KK, because I don't think it's KK though. I think, and the reason why I'm saying I don't think it's KK though is because KK was still with him. She was still with him on the night that he, you know. Oh, thank you, Swagger. You gonna make me blush. Don't do that. Kevin Hart should be scared. Could you imagine if they call Kevin Hart to the stand? All rise. Who's on the docket today? Kevin Hart. I'm not feeding into that. No, not KK from Love and Hip Hop. Christina Karam. When Diddy start trying to touch him. Don't get how y'all comparing Johnny and Amber Heard, which is a civil defamation case, but that's child's play in comparison to what Diddy and Cassie threw. See, I didn't really follow it, so I can't really say much. I want to start my love. I want to start my locks, but my hair too thin, Henny. I love your locks. Try sister locks. Sister locks are really small. You might be able to get away with those. He said Diddy tried to poison him. Who? Jamie Foxx? Jamie Foxx has not, as far as we know. Jamie Foxx is not about to be a witness as far as we know. Well, look, let me check and see if there's anything else that has come out. Well, it looks like that might be where it ends. Okay, we're waiting for Inner City Press to update for the last time, more than likely, for the day, because it is 3:58. So court is about to end, you guys. But see, Uniquely said you'll get a little volume from Sister Locks. I wanted to do Sister Locks because they still are like the equivalent of your hair. You can still do a lot of things with them. But I was like, I don't have time for the retwist. Like the retwist on Sister Locks, for me, I don't have patience, okay? I like my retwist when it comes to my locks. My retwist is pretty quick, okay? I parted my hair perfectly down the center. I parted my hair going this way so that way I can do my half up, half down. So I have the perfect part for my hair. If you look, you see it's like a perfect part for my hair to go half up, half down. That's all I have to do is do this. Just run my hands down this way and then take the hair and put it up. And I have my half up, half down. So that's why my parts look a little different, because it's going, I purposefully made sure that I could part it from ear to ear and from front to back, because those may be styles that I want in my hair. So my parting is a little different, but I started my locks myself. I started them myself with comb coils. And then from there, when I went to go to the Bahamas last year, I started getting them interlocked. And this is what I have. Now I'm back to just palm twisting them. And I don't palm twist all of them. I get just this part twisted. And sometimes they come out, you know, like that one did. But I did them myself. So my parts are not always just even straight across either. Like this is uneven, but whatever. I did them. Sister Locks are expensive on the retwist. I looked into that. And micro twist. Yeah, I kept my Sister Locks for a year and a half, then took them down. Thank you. I've been thinking about combing my locks out, but What do you mean? My locks aren't full. If I go wet my hair, my locks will be full. Because I haven't wet my hair, they're whatever. It don't matter. My locks are still pretty. I don't care what you say, full or not. They still cute though. They're unique and they're different. They have definition to them. Like, are you nuts? My locks are dope. My locks are dope. And guess what? When your locks start to grow out, it starts to look sleeker around the head. So if that was supposed to be a bang at me, it ain't work. Neo from the Matrix that. My locks are dope. I don't care what you say. Locticians be complimenting my locks. So, bloop. Anyway, let's check and see if they have given us an update for the day or not before we get up out of here. I just wanted to keep... Okay, so Donaldson asked him, Deonte, who was Mia? Deonte says, Puff's assistant. Dun, dun, dun. Is it KK? Donaldson, no, it wasn't KK. It wasn't KK because KK wasn't helping Cassie. So let me pipe down. Let me not get y'all hyped. It's not KK. It's somebody else. Donaldson asked, you and Mia jumped on Mr. Combs to protect Cassie for him, right? Deonte says, and to protect him from doing something worse. Donaldson says, and D-Rock tried to protect you and not protect Mr. Combs. Deonte says, yes. Dun, dun, dun. Why? Hey, my love. You locks them from Jamaica. You love my locks them? Thank you. I have one more comment. I have read that people think Diddy is going to walk. But remember, God sees everything. And we all have to pay for our sins in this life and or the next. Boom, Cindy. Boom, Cindy. Oh, no, let me find out D-Rock on the deal. Dun, dun, dun. to get my soundboard. Can I have some Hennessy? I don't know, can you? Because I'm Hennessy. I'm that girl Henny. But I don't know about Hennessy. I'm Hennessy. I got a little to me. I got a little pizzazz, a little extra If he walks, he's not going to be the same Diddy out here. The damage is done. You think so? If he walks, I feel like he's going to feel like he's invincible. Okay? And he's going to be out here trying to do freak offs. At some point in time, he's going to wait probably about 6 months to a year. And then the next thing you know, Diddy going to be right back in them freak offs. He might have a freak off the night he come home. He might be like, oh, it's a Diddy party. And he going to be in there in the party. Bad, 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 bad boy. Henny, you're doing an awesome job. Thank you. Thank you so much, LaDonya. I appreciate that. Hey, Tiffany. Right. I thought the same thing. DR, it's $30 a shot. Please send it via super chat. Wait, what they do? Oh, yeah, whatever you did, whatever she said you did it. So send the super chat. Well, he was quick to take a charge. That part, it's going to be hell to pay if he gets off. Girl, the government ain't going to take that kindly. They going to be watching him. Yeah. He said I meant him to say, I don't know. Your name is Dr. Ass Naked. I don't trust that. I don't trust that. Nah, I'm telling you, they blackballing him, but I doubt he don't walk. They definitely are. He would be worse. Exactly. Super chat your shot, money friend. What about Little Rod? He was trying to sue him and said he was abused. Baby, I don't know what's going on with that. Little Rod was at the first day of court, but Little Rod ain't been up there since then because I ain't seen no Little or no Rod up there at all. Okay. Cassie, if he gets off, he about to terrorize them witnesses. That part. They gonna be on his earth. That's the problem. Too many bad boys made him so good. Who is Gary? You said Gary grow up. I don't even know who that is. Justice for Little Rod, man. I wonder if he showed up the first day and they told him, you can't come because you're a witness. Ooh, if you think Little Rod is going to be ooh, y'all think Little Rod going to come testify? Dun, dun, dun. Diddy is the Little Rod with no correction. You know what? People need to quietly dip out and relocate. That part. That's why I'm thinking today's witness said he smoked. I think he's scared of Diddy. They're all scared of Diddy, girl. They are all scared of Diddy. That's why they still trying to be polite to him. Talking about I'm loving towards Diddy because it's not in me. Yeah, but you also don't want to be blacklisted like Capricorn is. Dun, dun, dun. Ciao. All right. So the judge says we're at 4 p.m. Who are the witnesses after Mia? So Comey says we think she will go long, but after her is Enrique Santos. So the judge says after today, Mr. Agnifino, give your exhibits by 5. Agnifino says we're only going back to the office by then. Oh, we're only getting back to the office by then. So now the judge is like, look, you got to stop this. You got to get your stuff in by 5 o'clock. Okay, that's it. And he's like, but we're just getting back to the office at 5 o'clock. Boy, you done went to lunch and court is over at 3. I don't know where your office is, but you should not be taking 2 hours to get to your office. You better make it work. If I was a judge, that's what I would be saying. Court is usually over at 3 o'clock. On the days that we run over, of course, I'm not going to expect you to have it in here by 5 o'clock. But if you leave out of this courtroom at 3 o'clock and go straight to your office, there's no way that it should be taking you 2 hours to get to wherever you're located in Manhattan. Make it happen. You have assistants, right? You have people that can do work while you're over here at the courthouse, right? You got a paralegal. Why can't you have your paralegal, tell your paralegal what you need, have your paralegal submit it by 5 o'clock? End of discussion. You should be hitting that send button. And I can guarantee you that his office, they're going to wait until 4:59 and 55 seconds to send it. Bloop. Because they petty like that. Exactly, Kristen. They got a team of lawyers. We don't want to hear that ish. Knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off. Anyway, that's been my update for you guys. Thank you all for tapping in and tuning in. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. I'm going to end it for now, but I will be live from the court tomorrow for y'all, and I'm going to pour up all the hot henny honey because they said Mia is going to take all day, and we're going to get the ending of Deonte live and direct, loud, live, and in color, okay? And we're going to get Mia as well. I'm going to be there for Mia, baby. I'm going to be there for Mia, okay? But anyway, love is always love, y'all. Remember to always vibe high so that the bullshit don't stick, and I will see y'all in the next video.